The starting fives for our game. Here are tonight's starting lineups. One of the guys we'll be watching out for today, Marcus Thornton.
Now, Kevin, probably his greatest value lies in his tremendous three-point shooting. When he's out on the perimeter, it gives them the ability to really stretch the defense out.
What I love about watching him play, Steve, is his terrific agility and body control. Even with the multiple defenders closing in, he contorts his body at angles that really give him a chance to make shots from weird positions all the time.
Last game for the Nets, they picked up a W against the Indiana Pacers.
And in that game, as I watched it, they were dominant defensively down on the low block, just controlling the paint.
And, you know, once they got a few blocks, the shooters started looking around for those shot blockers, which is no way to be effective offensively.
Boy, where was the box out? Too easy on that second chance opportunity.
Yeah, no box out is what happened there. Those kind of mistakes on the glass will kill a team. You know, his ability is matched only by his energy, guys. I mean, he's usually in the middle of everything for his team. You know, with the troubles he's had butting heads with coaches and others, you might wonder why the team keeps putting up with Cousins' antics. Well, I'll tell you why. The greater your talent, the longer your rope, because this kid does have talent.
Now, here's Thomas. He had 13 points in the win against Portland.
He got some huge points from the foul line, too, Kevin. He was very aggressive, generating contact and drawing fouls.
The Kings shooting their initial free throws of the game right here. And that one falls for Cousins. And Clark, you mentioned Cousins' problems. There were some rumblings last season that the Kings might look to trade him, Steve, and I think there would be some teams that would say, you know what, this is a quality guy that maybe needs a new environment.
I think teams would be very interested in him. The question is, how much would they be willing to give up? Because it is a bit of a risk, not knowing exactly what you're getting, but Cousins, an intriguing talent. There's no doubt about that.
It seems for the past few years, the only time you heard about Brook Lopez's name was in what the Nets would give up for Dwight Howard. I mean, well, all of that talk goes away now, at least for a minute, because he signed that extension with the Nets. And because of that, I think he was more comfortable. And it showed in his production on the floor.
And for Brook Lopez, a max contract going into last season. Raised some eyebrows for sure. But the way he's elevated his game, it looks like right now he's been worth every penny.
Yeah, I agree with that. First-time All-Star. He improved as a shot blocker and a rebounder. And, you know, I thought he should have gotten maybe some votes at least for most improved player last season. Big reason why the Nets improved so much.
That's a good point.
Well, you know, when Rajon Rondo went down last season and the Celtics looked to be out of any title contention, Kevin Garnett, guys, became a very hot topic on the trade market. And with his ability and experience, that should be no surprise.
Great interplay there between those two teammates.
Johnson kicks to Garnett. The kick out to Williams. Drills it from outside. Williams has got 5 points so far.
You know, defensively, you cannot forget about him. It gave him a wide-open look there.
We talked about what Garnett can bring to a team. He's still an impactful player. Defensively, a deadly jump shooter. He reached 25,000 points last season with Boston. Also a great passer.
But it's defensively where he really makes his mark. One of the best defensive forwards I think the league has ever seen. His ability to communicate, to guard pick and roll, to switch out onto point guards and stay in front of them. And then the intensity, the intangible that he brings to your club.
Now here's Williams. 8 points his last outing. The drive by Lopez. 6 on the shot clock. Garnett backing down. And he drops it in from the low post. Garnett's got his first basket. Last outing for Sacramento, they won that game against the Trailblazers.
And I thought, guys, they were the beneficiary of what was some lackluster defense being played against them.
I agree with you. I mean, it was really shocking how many free runs to the hoop they got.
Salmons gets the bucket.
It's been a very efficient first quarter for him. He's creating good opportunities and converting those that he creates. You take a look at the offense for the Kings last season, there are some things to build on here, guys. 4th in the NBA in fast break points, top 4 in points in the paint. Those are good numbers to build your offensive foundation around.
Thornton is guarded by Johnson. Here's Cousins, rejected by Lopez. Johnson with it, now guarded by Thornton. That is good. But for the Kings, I think Coach Mike Malone will try to get them to play a little more unselfishly, Steve, especially at the offensive end.
Yeah, they had a team last year that just seemed to be jacking up shots anytime they could get one up individually. They were among the lowest in the league in assists as a team. A lot of isolation basketball. It was not pretty to watch.
A platoon swap here for Brooklyn. Here's Hayes, Outlaw. Knocks it loose. Kicks it out to Vasquez. Connects from three-point range. Vasquez has got his first 3 points of the game.
Oh, he's going to keep banging those home if you give him that much space.
And Clutch slams it in. Stupendous rush to the rim and a mighty slam on the end of it.
But through the teeth of some pretty soft D. I can't help but say that.
Well, let's see how that impacts things here, because those kinds of plays sometimes can be game changers on both sides.
Outlaw's shot is off.
He's been trying to add that mid-range shot to his arsenal, but it still isn't there.
Pierce. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot two.
You know, with so many injuries to his team during last season, Paul Pierce easily could have taken things lightly. But he just doesn't roll that way. I mean, as a matter of fact, he played through a pinched nerve in his neck just to stay on the court when his team needed him. He is truly one of the all-time great players in the league and one of the outstanding Celtics of all time, too. And that's saying a lot with all of the Hall of Famers that have worn the green and white.
Outlaw kicks to Vasquez. Passes it to Outlaw. Off the mark there with the three-point shot. The Nets with the lead. Johnson outside. He feeds it to Williams. And it's Sacramento with the rebound. And back to Paul Pierce last season. With Rajon Rondo out with that horrible ACL tear, he really carried the Celtics.
Yeah, especially offensively. I mean, we saw the drain on his efficiency, the lowest field goal percentage for him in 9 years, but you know, he still can shoot threes, still gets to the foul line. They relied on him an awful lot last season.
Vasquez can't get it to go.
You know, typically, guys, he has the body control to finish when he's in that tight. I'm not sure what happened there.
Johnson. And it falls over the rim and in. Johnson's got his second basket of the game.
Not enough defense there to throw him off his shot. Sometimes it takes more than one defender on him down low.
From Brooklyn guys, what jumps out to you stat-wise?
Solid first quarter for this club. They came out strong, and they've put together some nice momentum here.
Steve, I like the looks they've gotten on offense. A lot of good ones.
And a moment now to reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up for the second quarter of basketball. On the floor for Sacramento, Travis Outlaw out there with Luke, Richard, and Bahamute. Then it's Vasquez, then there's Thompson, and it's McCallum in at the one. And that one's good. And it's 7 points for Joe Johnson.
What are they thinking, leaving him with all that space out there? Do they not know? Have they not heard that this guy is unbelievable? That's a layup for him.
Outlaw's shot is off.
Well, for the Brooklyn Nets, the 9th best record in the league last season. Good size inside and on the wings. They felt like they needed to ramp it up a bit to compete with Miami and LeBron James. It took him a little while to get into the flow of this game, but now he's definitely found his stride and rhythm.
Okay, well, let's check in with Doris Burke reporting from our sideline in this game. Doris, take it away.
Gentlemen, for Brook Lopez, a first-time All-Star last season, the offense had always been there, but it was his focus on defense and rebounding that has made the difference. Lopez admitted that he got lazy in the past, but the coaching staff started tracking his efforts, not just rebounds, but also attempted rebounds. And he said that helped him make him conscious of it. And guys, having teammates like Darren Williams, who said he, quote, should be a perennial All-Star, and stayed on him along with their coaching staff, really seemed to push him to that next level.
Yeah, he's figuring out how to take the best advantage of his great size. I think he's well on his way. Thanks, Doris. They get the rebound, and Thompson kicks to Patterson. Here's McCallum. He's guarded by Williams. Inside, second chance shot. Johnson with the block, and he gets it back. Snatched up. Salmons gets the bucket. Salmons got 7 points in the game.
If you battle for the offensive rebound and come up with it, you're guaranteed a high-quality shot on a follow, just like he got there.
Shot's good by Williams.
Mike Malone, the new head coach of the Sacramento Kings, son of a former NBA coach. Mike has been credited with helping teams improve their defenses, whether it was in New Orleans with Chris Paul, last season with Golden State, but Malone very well regarded in NBA coaching circles.
Salmon's against Johnson, and that one's good. 9 points in the game so far.
Guys, he shot a very good percentage today, and they've needed it.
Outside Williams, and the Sacramento team, Clark, not without offensive talent, but their defense has been their shortcoming.
And that's the area they've got to ramp up and improve. And Coach Malone is going to have an opportunity to put his stamp on this team by improving them at the defensive end of the floor.
Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
You look at the Joe Johnson trade for the Nets. They picked up his max contract from the Hawks, committing $80 million over 4 years. But, you know, last season, his lowest point output in over a decade, a down season overall. But, hey, there's a lot of talent on this team. He's not expected to score as much anymore.
Johnson against Thornton. Now, here's Patterson, guarded closely. 6 to shoot. Back to Thornton. 3-pointer. And it's Thornton again missing. And for the Nets, they started the season doing some of that isolation offensively for Joe Johnson that we saw in Atlanta, Clark.
And even with the most efficient individual scorers, that's not usually the way to go offensively over the long haul. With Joe going through a bit of a lull in terms of the shooting percentages, I thought they might have been better served to anchor the offense around Brook Lopez inside.
Well, we've seen that more than a few times. An easy bucket in the lane.
Yeah, the interior defense simply has been lifeless.
Williams kicks to Johnson. The dish to Anderson. Let's keep it alive. Lopez. Out of bounds. Sacramento will take possession. Let's give a look now at the 2K leaderboard to see who led the league in assists last year. Look at Vasquez, 3rd in assists and a great leader. And, of course, Darren Williams. He really does a great job leading his team. Such an unselfish player.
Both these guys, such terrific distributors of the basketball a season ago, always finding open teammates, and that's why they were near the top of that list.
The Nets had a really solid debut season in Brooklyn last year. They made the big move in trading for Joe Johnson, but they also made some small adjustments that paid off for him as well. Even with the D lurking, he made it look easy with the soft finger roll.
So the Kings called timeout. They're first. Well, Clark, as you said, a lot of people thought they would just be a top-heavy team with their starters doing a lot of the heavy lifting. But, Steve, they got contributions from all around.
Well, they didn't have big-name players on the bench, but they had some guys like Blotch and Evans who were kind of under the radar, but came in and played very well for this team a year ago. Now, of course, you got big names across the roster for the Nets. Last season for Darren Williams, his lowest assist per game average since his rookie season, down under 8 a game. And he said he talked about himself being a system player, looking for maybe a more system offense under Jason Kidd now.
And both free throws good for Williams. And back to that comment from Williams about being a system player. I know he expressed some difficulty going from the flex offense, Clark, that they run in Utah to the system they were running in Brooklyn.
Yeah, I think more of an isolation offense here, and some said he was wasting shot clock time dribbling around, but maybe that he was asked to do more. I mean, Utah had so much movement off the ball. It was more of an equal opportunity type offense that enabled Williams to make the play with the pass as opposed to making it with the dribble, and there is a difference.
He was just waiting for his chance to make a play, and as soon as the pass was made, he got it. Great steal.
Now let's send it to Doris on the sideline.
Hi, gentlemen. For the Sacramento Kings, a lot of rookies, and not just among the players. A new first-time majority owner, a new rookie GM, and Mike Malone, a first-time head coach. New blood taking over. But for all three, extensive experience in assisting roles, whether assistant coach, assistant GM, or minority ownership. So guys, despite being new to the lead role, none of them lack for experience.
Thanks, Doris. We'll see how they do. Johnson outside. Good, great play by Williams to set it up. 15 points for Joe Johnson.
He's finding all kinds of ways to get it done. What a quarter he's having.
Thomas goes in, gets it to go. Nets leading by 9. Williams up on top. He's guarded by Thomas. Shot's good by Williams. Williams has got 6 here in this quarter. Here's Thomas. There's 18 seconds left here in the second. Cousins with a screen for Thomas. Dishes it to Cousins. Pass to Thornton. Gets it off. And it would have counted had it fallen, but it's offline. And that does it for the first half of play. Or more of the same as we get the third quarter started. What can you say? Joe Johnson, an impressive effort here today.
Boy, he put on a show from the three-point line in the first half, didn't he? We'll see if the halftime break had any cooling effect on him.
Yeah, we'll soon find out, because I guarantee they're going to keep feeding it to him behind the arc until he does cool off.
Setting the floor for the Nets. The front court trio of Pierce, Garnett, and Brook Lopez. Jaron Williams and Joe Johnson at the 1 and 2.
That's not a sight you see very often. I mean, he has a great feel for that jump shot, especially when he's open. Well, the business of the NBA in pretty good stead. The Kings sold back in May for a record price of $525 million. At Seattle, the Seattle group had offered even more. Team value is certainly on the rise around the league. Better arenas, more lucrative TV contracts. Part of the reason that's the case.
And 2 shots coming up at the line as he gets fouled on the shot. And back to the bidding war for the Kings with the great offer from the Seattle group. Steve, do you think there's a chance the league could expand to Seattle?
I think so, especially with that tremendous offer that the Seattle group put forward. And now the new CBA, it's made it much more favorable for the owners. I think in the next few years, we will see at least one expansion team, maybe 2.
Here's Cousins. The shot misses, and Brooklyn will come the other way. This game against Sacramento is the first time they've met this year.
Well, last year they won both meetings in the season series, and it wasn't a surprise. I mean, this is the better team.
Thomas against Williams. Thomas kicks to Thornton. And they're going to count the bucket and send him to the line. It could be a three-point play. You know, Clark, it can be a point of pride. Hey, you know, we split 1-1 with the marquee team from the other conference. But, you know,
it's something to point to, Kevin. You know, when your overall season is a disappointment, that's something that you can look at and say, hey, progress.
Got to make a defensive adjustment here because he's just destroying them from three-point range.
Well, even when they've closed out on him, Steve, he's knocking them down. Got a chance here to check out how the Kings ranked in the NBA last season, Kevin. 10th in scoring, 11th in free throw percentage. And they were in the top half of the league shooting the ball from deep. Average to pedestrian, but still fairly effective from there.
Well, I think the key stat for that club last year was points per game. They were in the top 10. That was really what they tried to do. That was how they tried to establish themselves each and every game. Get out, run, get good shots, and try to outscore the opponent.
You know, of the last 6 baskets, 5 have come on the interior. This is major smash mouth basketball, guys.
Love it. Old school. Just physical play in the paint. Dominate.
The D with very little pressure on their perimeter shooters. 3 of the last 5 baskets they've allowed have been of the three-point variety.
Yeah, and unless they make some rotations and closeouts defensively, there's more to come, Clark. Well, when you look at DeMarcus Cousins, you see the talent, you see the rebounding ability. I think the disappointing part about his game is that he doesn't shoot a high field goal percentage, which means that it's basically about shot selection. A big guy with that kind of talent, he should be shooting well above 50%.
Thomas with the ball. Williams picks him up. Down low. Here's Thornton. No good. Excellent D there from Pierce.
Oh, boy, he is just cold as ice. I don't think he's going to be the one to help them cut into the lead.
You know, going back to Cousins, I think aside from upping his field goal percentage, he's also got to cut down the turnovers. I mean, it comes down to decision-making. being solid, not trying to make hero plays. If he can improve that, I think he could really anchor this team offensively.
They need this. Offensive rebound. And he's knocked off course by the D. The foul called. He'll shoot free throws.
Well, this guy's an animal on the glass, Kevin. I mean, there may be some bigger and stronger rebounds in the NBA, but nobody plays with this kind of energy and zeal.
And Steve, near the bucket, he's one of the best finishers around. I mean, he does a great job of using his strong body to fight through contact and get to the rack.
Some changes for Sacramento. Chuck Hayes, he's checked in for Patterson. Bahamute comes in for John Salmons. And it's Vasquez in for Marcus Thornton. Jason Thompson, he's checked in for DeMarcus Cousins.
You know, last season for the Nets, high expectations, guys. They were the runaway pick to be the most improved team in the league, and ownership stressed that their goal was nothing less than a championship. They had a bumpy stretch at one point, steadied themselves, but still a third head coach now in the span of a year.
And when the coaching change was made for the Nets, a lot was made of some of the comments by Darren Williams. Steve admitting that he'd been more comfortable with the offense in Utah.
Well, which is kind of ironic because when he was in Utah, sometimes he complained about the style of play. I think the big thing is for Darren Williams, his teams just have to win, and he has to lead. He's being paid as a superstar, and it's up to him to lead his club, and I think that's what he's trying to do this year.
Lopez passes to Pierce. Shoots it up. And it's Brooklyn scoring again.
They've had the hotter hand in the first half so far, no question.
Yeah, it's because of all the high percentage shots they've been working for and getting.
Vasquez kicks to Thomas. Feeds to Vasquez. Vasquez gets a screen from Thompson. Thomas goes in. Puts it up from 17. Rebounded by the Nets. Garnett's got his third rebound tonight.
Well, head coach Jason Kidd, that's a phrase I didn't expect to hear this quickly, but Kidd wasted no time. Only a matter of weeks after he announced his retirement as a player, he was named the head coach of the Brooklyn Nets. And it's going to be interesting to see the transition. Kidd, obviously, great basketball IQ, so well respected as a person in the league. I think it's just a matter of time before he really finds his footing and becomes an excellent coach.
Williams against Thomas. Williams dishes to Johnson. And a miss there on the triple.
Even against solid defense, he's still going to try to continue to make that shot.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I wouldn't bet against him in that situation next time.
The feed to Vasquez. Here's Hayes. Johnson with the block. In transition, here come the Nets. Johnson's got the ball. The shot by Pierce will not go.
Terrific job that time defending at the rim. I mean, it's not an easy task stopping that fella when he's headed to the bucket like that. Good job.
Vasquez passes to Thomas. He dishes it to Vasquez. Back to Thomas. Fires from deep. No luck. He gets it up. No good trying to beat the buzzer. Well, through three-quarter moment to get your guys' take on the scoring so far for the Nets.
So far, they've turned in a fantastic performance from the three-point line. It's been a weapon all game.
And then look at the points in the paint because they're really winning that battle tonight.
We've got Travis Outlaw, Luke Richard, and Bahamute out there with Hayes. Then it's Isaiah Thomas, and it's Vasquez in at the shooting guard position. So that's the 5 in the game for Sacramento. Fades back. Gets it to go. 8 points for Kevin Garnett.
That's a clean look they gave him there, fellas, and he drains those.
Now here's Vasquez. He's guarded by Johnson. Shoots off the screen. No good off the front iron.
It just hasn't been a very good day for him, guys. They need him to start burying some of those.
Pierce kicks to Johnson. A 3. Out of bounds, Sacramento takes possession. Chance to check out the Sacramento Kings' upcoming schedule. And at home for the next game, it'll be Detroit pulling into town. And that will be the 3rd of 5 straight played at home. The Nets making a switch here. Now here's Vasquez. He's guarded close. And he's finally able to knock one down. Nets leading by 14. Lopez dishes to Anderson. It's stolen by Vasquez. Thomas inside. That falls. Great assist by Vasquez.
Well, he's so good at recognizing where the openings are and getting the ball to the rim.
Williams attacking. Can't connect from short range. The Kings have gone 3 of 5 here in the fourth quarter. Pretty good numbers coming out of the break. And there are the Kings with another bucket. Game moves along. 2 minutes gone here in the fourth. Joe Johnston on the wing. Outside Kirilenko. No good on the triple. The Kings trail by 10. Vasquez with it. Williams picks him up. Vasquez kicks to Patterson. Back to Thomas. Shot clock at 6. Pass to Patterson. Here's Vasquez. And he draws body contact. Looked like a blocking foul, and he was in the shooting motion. So he'll head to the free throw line. That one on Kirilenko. No good on that one.
A lot was made about the Kings in their home last year, but it wasn't about how well are they playing at home. It was about where is their home going to be next season. The Kings are staying in Sacramento, but they played like it might be their last hurrah.
And Brooklyn making a change here. Hodges checked in.
Guys, he's actually indefatigable. He never gives in, never gives up on a play, and that's what it takes to be a great offensive rebounder. You've got to be relentless.
Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
During that break, Coach Mike Malone had some words for his team. He challenged this group to really go for it, saying, now's the time when winners take control. Now let's go out there and take it to them. Guys, a nice pep talk. We'll see if he got him going.
Marcus Thornton, he's checked in for McLemore. Again, you go back to the Kings at home last year, 20-21 record, and it was easy to see just how much tougher a team they were in this building. You know, Steve, they really looked like a team that could compete with anyone at any time.
Well, this community really rallied behind the franchise, and there was a lot of worry that maybe this was the farewell tour for the Kings fans and the players. And they played their hearts out last year. You got to give them a lot of credit for really fighting, particularly down the stretch when things looked good. Yeah, so close to picking that pass off, guys.
At least he got a hand on it. He did what he needed to do to make sure it didn't hit the target.
Brooke Lopez is checked in for Andre Bloch. Vasquez kicks to Cousins. And it's Brooke Lopez with the foul. That is his first foul of the game.
Tough break for the defense. He took the heat and drew the whistle.
Yep, but when you get there late, that's what happens.
Vasquez kicks to Salmons. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
So far in the game for Salmon, he has 9 points, and he's put 1 3-pointer on the board.
Going forward, I think it'd be a good idea to let him spend a little more time behind the arc. He looks like he has a nice touch from out there.
That one falls, so he hits both of them.
I like that they haven't lost their aggressiveness here in the second half, despite trailing in this game.
Well, you know, that's when you need to be most aggressive when you're down. Another good job of drawing contact and getting to the line.
And stolen by Thornton. Vasquez. And he takes it in for the layup off a very nice feed.
Boy, such outstanding patience and decision-making for them offensively.
Absolutely. Their ball movement has been outstanding. They are piling up the assists.
Only quite surprising to see the huge edge they have in rebounds given what the scoreboard said.
Yeah, it's not typical. I mean, they have been really dominant on the glass. See the way he times his passes so well? It's a great assist.
And Williams, here we go. Johnson. Back to Williams. Johnson outside. From about 19 feet. That's short off the rim. The Kings trail by 5. Here's Thornton. The shot's good. Vasquez making the play. Vasquez has got 3 assists in the game. Johnson outside. There's the 3. Again, the miss by Johnson.
Well, he's just launching from the 3-point line right now because I don't like his shot selection at all.
Thornton, no good. Nets leading by 3. 1:14 left here in the 4th quarter. Outside, Deuce. Outside, Williams. Fires the 3. That's good. And the Nets lead by 6.
Yeah, guys, it's his consistent shooting that's really helped get his team into the position they're in right now.
1:04 left to play here in the 4th. Vasquez kicks to Selmans. Here's the pass to Cousins. Can't get it to go. Good D by Lopez. Brooklyn's gotten the three-point shot off 16 times tonight. 7 times they've hit it. 9 times they've missed. Johnson, the pass to Pierce. Williams, beyond the arc. And again, Brooklyn with the triple.
Well, if it wasn't already out of reach, it is now, thanks to this spurt.
Just keep on firing, man. No reason to slow down now.
Selmans dishes to Cousins. Vasquez. Here's Patterson. And once again, off the mark by Sacramento. 1 second separating the shot clock and game clock. Garnett backing down. Shot left block. And again, it's Brooklyn converting.
Well, the fans already heading for the exits, clearly not pleased with the way their home team played here today.
And they shouldn't be pleased. I mean, it's a very well-deserved win, Steve. They came into this building and weren't intimidated at all. They were the aggressors.
Pass to McCallum. He kicks it to Outlaw. And it's out of bounds. The Nets will take it the other way.
15 seconds on the shot clock. 15.
Here's Lopez. Off target. And so it's Brooklyn easily grabbing this one. Some days